Alright. Lego Doom weapons. That's what I'm going to be working on today. This is my first video, so bear with me on, well, maybe not my very first video, but this is a first video in a long while, so let's get right into it. I will first be starting with the rocket launcher. Now, I don't exactly have the proper pieces to make this thing look as good as it could, but let's get a closer look at it here. It is mainly using these cylinder pieces to kind of just give the shape of the barrel, but then in the middle here we have this kind of, I'm not sure what it's called, kind of like a blaster piece, I guess you could say, with a kind of a elongated stock, if you could call it that. But then I used a small bracket piece to put onto the top of it, just to kind of fill that out. That way it doesn't look so empty whenever you put it all together. There we go. So then I attached another cylinder piece to the back, along with a stud that is equipped with a small hole in the middle. So I put that on there, and then I put two more cylinders. This one is a little bit of a different color. I think it comes from a different kind of set, but it still works perfectly fine. Fits on there nice and tight, just like the rest. But you got a simple rocket launcher for your Doom Slayer. So let's move on to the next one, which will be moving on to let's get to right here, the minigun. So this one's pretty, it's got a little bit of a more complex piece into it, but overall still looks very nice and clean. So the two main pieces that may be difficult for people to find is this one. This one, I believe, was from a Call of Duty set. So you may have to improvise your building skills on this, on maybe using one of these to kind of, and then put some pieces onto the end of it and through the middle to kind of make it look a bit more like this. But since I have this piece, I figured what the hell, I'll use it because it gives it a lot nicer, sleek look. So there we go. But how I was able to fit it was that it fits perfectly onto a stud. Now, the main foundation of this gun is this right here. It's one of the newest blaster pieces, mainly for the Overwatch sets. So you'll find these in newer sets, like the Overwatch sets, and you'll be able to use them to make stuff like this. And how I put it all together was I started off by taking a stud, just a plain old stud, and putting that on the end. Then I put a 1x1 tile piece on the side. Then I put another one on the other side, like so. Then I took one of these pieces, now also from a Call of Duty set, but you can still use any 1x2 tile piece to, you know, to use the same, use it as the same thing. You could potentially use one of these. Let's set that on there. See, that would look just fine. It stays on there relatively well. Or you could go with a 1x2 jumper plate, and it would look just fine. But I just prefer this piece because of the looks. You know, it just gives it a nice sleek look. So then I'll take my minigun piece, and I typically have this little hole thing facing down so that it doesn't interfere with the looks of the top. But then there we go. We got a simple minigun for a minifigure. I could branch off a handle to the side, but that just makes them hold it really weird. Like they're constantly keeping it to their side, which I find that to be a little awkward to look at them holding it like that. But yep, there's the Lego Doom minigun. Damn it. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So then the next one that we're going to be looking at is, let's go with, how about something simpler? The chainsaw. Now the chainsaw with the double handles, I will make an exception, because a chainsaw, it wouldn't look right at all with just one handle. And whenever a minifigure is holding it, here, let me just get an example here. Okay, here we go. Let's put him right in front of the camera so you can see him very well. But let's go ahead and throw that on, and okay, there. See, with this, it still looks kind of okay. And of course, because it's Lego, it's much larger and it feels really weird, but the overall look of it, and when you kind of, whenever you play with it, it works just fine. You know, it's not too bad. But yeah, there is the overall look of it. Let's give him a nice little pose here. Yeah. So the main foundation for this piece is I don't really know the specific name for it, but I'll show you exactly what it looks like. Actually, yeah, I've got another one right here. Yeah. This right here. It seems to be a one stud brick, or a 1x1 brick. Yeah, with 1, 2, 3, 4 studs with holes going on all the sides, and then one more stud on the top. And then, so whenever I start out with this, I flip it backwards like this, and then I put a stud with a hole on through it on this chainsaw piece, just like that. There we go. Some good lighting on there. But then from there, I would place it into the bottom. See, this is how it looks when you compare them. Now, so I put the chainsaw like that on the bottom of it. Then I put two pistol pieces one on this end and one on the side. And then over here, I got this from a Marvel set with Ant-Man. So I put this onto here to give it a more, kind of sleek look, just to look more like a chainsaw. Then we've got a 1x1 tile piece on the bottom. I chose black just to go with the handle and the stud piece in the front there with the chainsaw, but you can choose any colors that you want for these builds. And then I put one of these little kind of slide pieces. That's a 1x2, but one of them is a little higher up than the other. But I put it on to it just like that. Now it leaves a little bit of a wedge, and that may bother some people. So if you want, you can put another stud under it, and it'll be a little higher, but it won't be able to have that little, lift right there. But me personally, I don't find it as that much of a deal because I don't see it as easy. But yeah, there's the overall chainsaw. It works pretty well. I'd say it just not the best looking, but good enough to say I know that that's a chainsaw. Okay, the next one that we're going to be looking at is my favorite build that I've done, and probably the best one that I've done. The plasma rifle. Now this is based off of the new Doom Eternal plasma rifle, but as well as the classic Doom plasma rifle, because they really wanted to go for like classic Doom and Doom Eternal. So bringing back those old guns like the plasma rifle back to its original form, the way it looked, is just, it's beautiful. I love how they did that. So the main foundation for this weapon is another gun that you will get from Overwatch sets. It's kind of you see it there. It's got a handle and then even a stud on the back of it. But it's two studs long and one stud in the width, and there's a little spot you can put a one stud on the bottom, and then you're even able to put a 1x2 tile piece on it. Now, so whenever I started building this, I put a 1x1 stud on the back. Then I put the 1x2 on the right side, but you can also put it on the left, whichever, if you're deciding. Then I got one of these air vent looking pieces, 1x2, and I put that on the top. And then I took another 1x1 1x1 tile piece, put that right there on the left side. Then I took another one of these pieces, kind of like the one that you saw on the chainsaw, and I put that on the left side and right next to the 1x1 tile. Then came the little story about this. I couldn't find these pieces for so long, and I had to take them off of one of my sets just to get them. So sadly, a Ghostbusters table is missing its 3 out of 4 1x1 studs. There we go. But anyways, I took 3 of these and put them together like this because just having a 1x1 brick just didn't look right. It looked too flat. But with this, you can still kind of see those lines. And so whenever you put it onto here, whenever you'll stack them on top of each other, then you'll place it onto here, on the front of the plasma rifle, then you kind of see those lines, and it reminds you, like, it really looks like the plasma rifle. Then I took one of these pieces here. It's a 1x1 block with a Technic whole circle going through the middle. Oh, goodness me. And from there I took a 1x1 tile piece and put that on the top of it. And then I stuck the rest of the rifle on the side of it to give it that look of, because it's in the plasma rifle, you'll see that it's like this little tan area is kind of smaller than the rest of it. It's like it's thinner in that area. So then there's that. The plasma rifle, fully finished. And let's go ahead and throw it on a minifigure. There we go. There it is, pointing at you. Then let's show it to the side. Looks great. I'm really happy how this one turned out. Yeah, that really looks great. Let's kind of give you a first-person view of it. Oh, don't focus on my hand, focus on this. There we go. There we go. That was a good little look. But yeah, there is the Doom plasma rifle. So, on to the more complex guns. So, let's start off with the pistol here. Let's get that on the little stand so you can see it easy. Let's get this closer to the light so that you can see it really well. Come on, focus. Quit focusing on that. I have to like get it like super close to, jeez. There we go, that's kind of better. That's a lot better now. This is the pistol. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, maybe I just need to do this again. God damn. Stabilize, damn you. It keeps wanting to look behind it, for Christ's sake. It's a fucking pistol. It's not that hard to fucking look. For Christ's sake. There we go. That is the pistol. Now, how I made this is I took something like this or this, and I took an X-Acto knife and kind of cut off all the excess that I don't need, and cut off to make it into this that looks very real to and very close to the classic Doom pistol. Now I could have gone with the regular old pistol, for Lego, or I could have gone with this one, or this one even. This one's probably my favorite, the top one. But none of these look like this. And I can't help myself but think that's better. On to the next weapon, which will be the pump-action shotgun. This was a little bit tougher to figure out how to build. So this is made out of pretty much parts of a lot of things. This back stock, and as well as the handguard, was made from a musket, a little Lego musket from the pirate sets. Then I made the barrel out of just a regular rod piece, kind of like these, these pieces, and I used some super glue to stick it all together. And the bottom, the pump, I used I don't know if they even make them anymore, but it was kind of like one of these, but it had a hole going through the middle, so it was hollow on the inside. So I just cut it to the length that I wanted. Then come on, focus. There we go. Come on. Focus a little more. Focus on that. Come on, focus. You can kind of... damn it. You can kind of see it. Yeah, you can see it now. You can see how it used to be a little hollow, but I slit down the side of it, like down the middle, and I pretty much pushed it outward to make it fit around that, and then I super glued it to it. Let's get another good look at that. There we go. Here we go. Doesn't that just look beautiful? But yeah, that's the pump action shotgun. Now on to one of my most favorites. Now this was also my earliest and my first time making a gun myself out of Lego, out of scrap. So this is a double barrel sawed off short-handed break action shotgun that is made out of a little bit it was first made of hot glue, but then I started introducing a little bit of super glue into there. That's why it's a little bit of a mess, but I think it still turns out to look pretty slick still, pretty nice. And it's a very fun gun to have in a minifigure's hand because of the way that it fits so well and how mobile it is. You can just put in any kind of position. There's nothing stopping you like the stock or